Guys, welcome back to Matthew's Ballistics. Got something a little different for you. I've got a new 6.5 Creedmoor bolt action, but it's not just any new 6.5 Creedmoor. It's not like a Tikka or a Hoa or any of these other brands you hear about. It's not an RPR or anything. This is something a little different, and I'm going to share with you guys some reasons behind why I chose to do this. So, without any further delay, let's get into it. So, right here, we got this big ass black box. So, first off, this is an Apache gun case, and they are retailed in Harbor Freight stores. So, I'm telling you guys, if you want a good gun case that's not going to break the bank, like you don't want to spend $300 or even $400-$500 on a gun case like this, one of these big ones that is, you can fit 2 or 3 rifles in, check out Harbor Freight. Go to your local Harbor Freight, check out their Apache gun case section. They've got tons of different sizes, and they are heavy duty and rugged. They come with a handle on the end, heavy duty handle in the middle. They got the wheels, 2 different locking spots for reinforced, so if you want to put locks on it. Alright, so let's get into this. Let's open up this thing and see what's in here. Alright, so you're probably going to notice something pretty familiar. This is my Aero Precision AR10 and 6.5 Creedmoor with a Wilson Combat 16-inch barrel, Wilson Combat bolt, Burris RT5 fixed 5-power prism scope. Just a standard mil-spec trigger, nothing special with it. Magpul MOE grip and stock. This was the Aero M5 matching upper and lower. Other than that, it's pretty much it's not too over the top. I didn't go too crazy with the build on it for an AR-10. Now I do have give or take about $2,200, $2,300 tied up in this rifle, but what we've got here is a Uintah Precision bolt action. This is a true bolt action upper for an AR-10. So, yeah, and one thing with these boxes is the only downfall to it, the only thing that's a little bit of a pain in the butt, is that the foam little pulled out squares are not that great. So I took my Arkin SH4 Gen 2 off of the Ruger American Predator 6.5, and I put it on this 26-inch upper, so I've got an extra 4 inches of barrel length versus the Ruger, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that can mean as much as about, give or take, 100 feet per second in muzzle velocity. And that doesn't sound like a lot when you're shooting 28, 29, 100 feet per second, but when you jump that much at the muzzle, it means a huge amount of difference at long range, and that's what I wanted, was just that little bit of extra go power on it, So anyways, I'm going to try to show you guys how this works. Alright, so basically with the AR-10, the only thing you have to do to it is pop out your takedown pins, pull those out, and then remove the upper like so. And then you basically just install the bolt action upper to it. So let's check that out. Once I got it in there, it uses the same pin system, same magazines, everything, no problem. And there you go. That is the bolt action upper from Uintah Precision, not Utah Precision or whatever. I do believe these are made in Utah though, but Uintah Precision. 60-degree throw on this. Of course, there's a couple quirky things with this upper. Okay, first of all, if your trigger is ready to fire, you can't open the bolt. So if you've got a round loaded in the chamber and you want to unload it without firing it, your best option is to pop the rear pin and rotate it, and then you can open the bolt and unlock it that way. And the reason why is, you may not can see it, but your hammer here rides in this slot up in the bolt, and if your hammer's in the ready to fire position, you will not be able to open that bolt. Now, if, of course, you go ahead and, we're unloaded, obviously, I showed you guys, but if you go ahead and flip the safe off and fire it, then you can open the bolt no problem, right? And then one of the other quirky things is I left the buffer tube and spring, or the buffer spring and buffer in here. So when you're doing the bolt action, you actually have to, it only comes back so far, and you'd actually have to pull against your buffer to cycle the next round in there, which in a quick situation to use this rifle to convert it over to the bolt action for long range, that's something you're probably not going to worry about too much. But if you wanted to, you could take the extra step and remove the buffer and spring from it, and then you wouldn't have any of this rearward resistance. And then one other thing on this type of rifle is they said that they recommend like running, you can't just slowly close the bolt, and I'll show you what I mean. If I try to just slowly push the bolt close, there's a bit of a block there, and then there's some resistance. You have to really force it into place. So what they recommended doing was just slamming it home and pulling it down like that. Sorry, I'll do that better so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So, but taking it, slamming it home, there you go, new rounds in the chamber, and you're ready to fire. So with that being said, this thing is a massive rifle with that 26-inch upper on it, compared to the 16-inch upper. So if you can see what I'm talking about, here's my 16-inch upper, and it stops there, and then that 26 keeps on going. It's another 10 inches longer. So I mean, the difference in velocity that I expect are pretty high. I would expect the 26-inch upper to have, give or take, 500 feet per second more velocity than the 16-inch upper. So anyways, with that being said, we'll just go ahead and break this back down. You just pull the pins. This is like a super convenient way to convert a semi-auto battle rifle into a precision long-range rifle. Look at that. Your upper comes away, your barrel is there, your scope stays zeroed to the barrel because it's fixed. You don't remove it or anything. Just like on your semi-auto upper, your little scope on there stays fixed. It doesn't have to be removed or anything or reset, and then you just swap them out. So super convenient and a really super cool rifle. I haven't taken it out to the range yet. From what I understand, they guarantee these to shoot 1 MOA, so like basically a 1-inch group at 100 yards. Though the reviews that I have read and studied up on, the majority of them say that they shoot better than that down into the half MOA area. I would imagine, they only wanted to tell you it would shoot 1 MOA so that you weren't upset if you aren't doing your part, and that's the only problem. So, but from what I understand, they will shoot better than 1 MOA. They will shoot consistently 3/4 MOA and even sometimes half MOA. They're Shiloh barrels, if I'm not mistaken. So they're really high quality barrels. And also another feature with this firearm, or this upper build, is that the barrels can be changed out by the user. So it's not something you would actually have to take to a gunsmith if you wanted to change your barrel, if you needed a new barrel. They designed it in a way that you can change it yourself, which is really cool. Because with a lot of bolt action rifles, precision rifles, the only way to change the barrels on those is to take them to a gunsmith and have the work done by a professional. The way they designed it, you can do it at your house with minimal tools and whatnot. So anyways, I just wanted to share this stuff with you guys, and I don't know, we'll see you next time in the next video. I may take this out this weekend. I haven't shot it yet. I'm really excited about it, but yeah, total new toy. And seeing as how now I've got a 2-in-1 package here, it sits in one gun case. It's this is like an all-in-one package. I got my battle rifle and my precision rifle in one case, and I don't have a ton of extra things to deal with. I've just got one lower and 2 different uppers. So some things to think about. It does have its quirks. There are some things that you're going to sacrifice doing it this way, that having a dedicated precision rifle, there are some advantages to that over this, but there are also some disadvantages. And in the way that I'm looking, the way that I'm like to shoot and everything, I think this will accommodate my type of shooting, my style of shooting, better than having a dedicated AR semi-auto rifle and having a dedicated precision rifle. Because I've, again, limited space to store things. So if I have 2 or 3 or 4 rifles in the same caliber, that takes up a lot of space, and it's also a lot of money invested. So I could have like $4,000 or $5,000 or $6,000 tied up in 3 or 4 rifles versus having about $4,000 tied up in this setup. So yeah, and this upper run, tax and all, shipping and all, was $1,320 with the barrel and everything. It comes ready to go, and then I put the Arcin optic scope on it. Of course, those run with the rings about $500. And the Arcin optics, I cannot say enough about them. They are fantastic scopes. If you're looking for a budget area first focal point scope, you cannot go wrong with an Arcin. They've beat out anything I've ever looked through at the range. I've looked through Night Force scopes, and I've looked through even some Zeiss and whatnot, and as far as the money goes, I could not justify buying a Night Force at 4 times the price of the Arcin. But that's just me. Some people really like the name, be able to show it off at the range. Hey, I bought a Night Force. But to me, this is a badge of honor to me, just being able to buy an Arcin and showing it off at the range, because people look through it and they're like, wow, that is some incredibly clear glass for a $500 scope. So anyways, we'll see you next time in the next video. This has been Matthew's Ballistics. Message, if you guys would please like, share, and comment, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. I'm trying to grow this thing. I'm trying to do some cool shit for you guys. With that being said, I'm going to give you one last look over what I'm calling the battle box, and that is this gun case with essentially 2 rifles with very different purposes, but very capable and interchangeable and very convenient, and more or less ergonomic, or practical is what I would say. This is a very practical setup. So here you guys go.